It's been 1 month since the last batch of updates. We're still waiting for the prototype. Last month, I posted an update video regarding the minimal phone. Now, this phone had a complete redesign, a lot of new features added, and even some colors. So since May 17th, we haven't heard much from the minimal phone company. A lot of people have been posting in the Indiegogo discussion page, and since I'm not a backer, I don't have access to the Discord. If you've backed this product and have access to the Discord, please feel free to comment below on what they're saying inside that Discord. Now, from a public-facing view, not much has updated except for a few things on the website. So today we're going to take a look on what information we can find and perhaps hypothesize on when or if the product will be launched on time. Now, taking a look at the Indiegogo page, you'll be able to notice that a lot more backers have joined this project. So it's up to 660,000 euros backing this project. Also from the homepage, if I scroll down a bit, you'll be able to see that Indiegogo themselves have labeled this as a team favorite. So this means that Indiegogo is having a close eye on this project, I hope, and following the progress of the project itself. Speaking of the progress, you'll see just above that it went from the concept phase or design phase to the prototype phase. So now that it's in the prototype phase, we should be seeing a working prototype of this specific device. I went on Indiegogo's frequently asked questions, and if you go down on the product stages, you'll be able to see what Indiegogo says regarding the stages of each project. So you'll be able to see that the concept phase has been validated. And if you go down to prototype, you'll see that campaigns in the prototype stage have a working version of the physical perk. So this means that the minimal phone company should have a working prototype. We have seen the prototype hinted within the campaign video that was released 3 months ago, but since then, the design has completely changed and there are a lot of features that have been added, and I'm sure that backers or potential backers would like to see those features demonstrated within the prototype itself. It also says that a high quality video showing the working prototype on their campaign page is an obligation. The video provided on the campaign page must demonstrate the key features and function of the physical prototype. So considering that the minimal phone itself, the key features I would describe would be, of course, the keyboard. I mean, a lot of people really want an e-ink QWERTY keyboard, and other key features would include the Android integration with the hardware. Now, in order to see this video, you can select it from the Indiegogo page, or you can go directly to the minimal phone page on YouTube. And from here, you'll be able to see the campaign video. Now, the campaign video shows the older design of the product. So this means that this is the previous prototype per se for the design of the device. Now, I went through the video and tried to find the key features that it's demonstrating, and the first feature that I found was the alarm. I wouldn't consider an alarm a key feature. It's an important feature for sure. A lot of people need the alarm, but I wouldn't mention it as the key feature per se. If I go through the video itself, I can see that there are sections displaying, for example, the keyboard and plus the text on the display itself. I'm not seeing too much demonstration of the typing itself. I'm not sure which feature this is highlighting. I mean, perhaps receiving messages or emails, and that would be a key feature for sure. Is this the operating system? Well, since the development of this product has changed and the design has changed, also has the operating system. When this device was first announced, it was announced as having its own operating system called Minimal OS. Since then, the website has updated, and if I go to the website itself and I scroll down the website, if you go down to the bottom, you'll see that a new section has been added regarding the specifications of the device. Now, completely at the bottom of these specifications, you'll find the operating system. It's no longer operating with Minimal OS. If you select this option, you'll see Android 14. So this means that the device will not have its own proprietary operating system, but rather using Android 14 directly on the e-ink display and the hardware itself. I'm curious to see how this will work with the aspect ratio of the screen of the device and as well as the physical keyboard working together. I'm sure this will be a technical feat to achieve in a couple months. And again, I'm really eager to see what the prototype will demonstrate with this key feature being changed. Going back to the key features being shown in the campaign itself, again, if I go through the video, I can see that it has calling, which is of course a key feature for a phone. And if I scroll through, I can see that there are other features demonstrated. If you go through the video itself of the founders, you'll be able to see a couple key shots of them typing on a device. So if I go towards here, I think they're describing that e-ink is easier to read on. The e-ink is a key feature of this device, of course. That's why many people are interested in backing it. It's a QWERTY keyboard, but it's also an e-ink display that is proposing to reduce your eye strain, of course, but your screen time and your usage of your device make it a more minimal experience. So going through all of these features, I mean, it does show, but it's not showing at the same time. There are only key features that are being highlighted. And again, this is the previous design iteration of this device. So we need an updated prototype. Since the designs have changed, the color specs have changed, and even features such as the camera being added. So if I go back to their website, again, their specs have been updated accordingly to their updates on the project page itself. And if you go up to camera, you'll see that it has a rear-facing camera of 16 megapixels and a front-facing of 5 megapixels. Now, previously in the video that I had mentioned in May, the updates were giving people the option to get the camera or not get the camera. I'm not seeing this option featured on the website anymore, and I'm assuming that when you order or back this device, you will get the camera by default, which makes sense for production. I mean, you can't have too many iterations or variations of a design and expect to get to production in a timely manner. So speaking of the other specifications that have changed, of course, the display has changed. The size has decreased in order to fit a navigation, and you'll have a trackpad and navigation bar integrated into the display itself. So the minimal company logo will be a trackpad for you to navigate on the device. I'm assuming that it is still a touchscreen device, so you can navigate with your finger, but if you want to navigate quickly, you can use this trackpad feature, which is also found within BlackBerry. For example, if you look at the BlackBerry Classic or the Q20, you have a navigation option, but you can also use the touch screen as well. This takes space away from the screen size itself. I think originally they wanted to do a 4.5 display, or am I mistaken? Maybe it was a 3.5 and they increased. In any case, I think the navigation is an interesting feature. It will work better perhaps with Android as well, but it is to be seen in the prototype. You also have updates to the keyboard. You'll have the layout as well as the travel. The key travel is, again, very important for using a QWERTY device. Actually, I'm seeing as I'm looking through that within the design spec itself, it has the 5 megapixel optional camera in the bottom left-hand corner of the device. I thought the camera was being in the top left-hand corner when I previously saw the design specs, but it seems to have changed to move the camera down to the bottom left-hand corner, which is an interesting choice. If you're planning on doing video calls, it's going to be a flattering angle from the bottom of your chin. And yeah, it's an interesting placement for a camera, to be fair. It might get dirty quite easily being near the keyboard and people typing. I'm curious to see how this is going to work. And again, I would like to see the prototype on this demonstrated. It says here in the design itself that it's an optional feature, but if I select the pre-order option and the page appears and I select buy now, I'm brought to the order page. You'll see the price, which is $3.99. It's exactly the same price that you would find on Indiegogo, by the way. And if you scroll down and say order summary, so I can see that I've ordered the Fusion color, but I don't see anything about opting in or out of the camera. Is the camera not included in the first couple batches of this phone, or is this a feature that will be added later on? This is to be seen. And speaking of that, if I go back to the minimal page, you'll see that you're brought to the products. And if you want to see more about the products, again, you're brought to the order page. So the navigation for the website is a bit strange. I want to go back to the main page itself. And to do this, I'm just going to go up and type in the website. And return to the website itself. So I noticed a big difference on the website itself versus the Indiegogo project page. It says on the page itself that the batch 2 is limited released orders to ship in October of 2024. But if you go to the Indiegogo page, and for example, if I want to back this product and I select it, I can see that it still says on this page that the orders from the Indiegogo project will be shipped in September of 2024. So I'm guessing this is the first batch that will ship out from the Indiegogo orders, which makes sense because the project was created on Indiegogo before it was added to their website. So the first backers will be the first to get the product, I'm assuming. And the first batch, I guess, is still taking orders, because if you were to back it today, you'd be included in the September of 2024 batch. Whereas if you order on the website, you will be included in the second batch being released in October. Now, neither here or on the website itself, I'm still not seeing the option. So if I select get this perk, I have the perk details and I continue to review. And if I'm taking to the order page, it is still $399 or 372 euros. I don't see the option to select or not select the camera. So I'm guessing that if they're adding the camera, this might be a later iteration of the device. If I'm not having the option to opt out, would this change the price of the device if you're choosing not to have the optional front-facing camera? There's a lot of questions there. And I think if you're displaying, for example, the new changes to your specifications, it's not quite clear on when those specifications will be taking place. If you're showing it in the spec sheet of the page itself, it should be optional to opt in or opt out and seeing the price variations of that specific change. Just a little bit more transparency on this aspect would be great. And again, if we have the prototype of the difference of having the camera or not having the camera, and the camera placement is again very strange and unique, and I've never seen a product placing the camera in the bottom left-hand corner of the device. So in conclusion, not much has changed in regards to updates to the device. We haven't seen a new prototype be released. We haven't seen an updated video. The last time videos were added to the YouTube channel were 3 months ago. So I think they're due probably to update soon, I hope, regarding the newer design and the optional features such as the front-facing camera. And once those updates are released and we get to see more about the device, I think people will feel better about the design changes, and we'll also be able to see how the hardware interacts with the operating system, which is now Android 14. If you back this device, let me know below on what's being said in the Discord, and any information that you have would be great. I mean, the more transparency on this project would be better. I think having more updates regularly about people who have backed the project, as well as those who are lurking like myself, it would be very interesting to see what changes are being made, any potential delays in the production, and as much information as possible, really. I think people are really curious about this project. Indiegogo is obviously following this project closely since they favorited it, and we are all eagerly awaiting the new design changes and prototype. Thank you again for watching, and see you soon.